We're on the Miramichi River in New Brunswick. And if you haven't heard of the Miramichi River, well, you're probably not a fisherman, because this is the mecca of Atlantic salmon fishing. Hi, I'm Lynette Louise, and we're on the Miramichi River at the crack of dawn trying to catch the elusive Atlantic salmon, the king of game fish. If we catch one, we're going to cook it poached and fix it New Brunswick style with fiddleheads. Today on Cross Country Cookin'. Yep, we're going fishing, but not ordinary fishing. We're going fly fishing for the Atlantic salmon. Imagine, you take a few feathers, a bit of fur, and a little piece of bent steel, and then you wrap it all together into a pretty pattern, as the fly fishermen call it. And then you cast that pattern, or fly, out into a rippling stream, into a world that we know very little about, into a world where the fish don't want to eat your fly. They're not even hungry. You just bother them into it. You pester them until they jump or swallow. Why? Is it instinct? Is your fly so tempting? Or have you just aggravated them, made them biting mad? Well, maybe. You still with me? Okay, imagining. This is what I'm told happens. You cast the right fly into the right spot and the fish takes it. But instead of trying to escape, he just swims nonchalantly back to his lie, where he eventually realizes that, hey, what he has in his mouth isn't dinner. And that's when he makes a run for his life. Your line sings and the river boils, and the exhilaration, I'm told, is phenomenal. The fight, the conquest, and even the release, they're all part of the art of salmon on the fly.
I should be in Boston at a meeting, but yesterday was a vacation day in the United States, and I took the 3-day vacation, 3-day weekend to come up and catch the end of the season in the Miramichi. I'll be in Boston this evening, and I'll try to do this morning's meeting this evening.
David Goodman is a fly fisherman who also happens to be a commercial banker in Washington, D.C. Sometimes. We caught up with him in his Miramichi office.
It doesn't look like it. This is a very intense thing. My secretary says when I come back, you must be really relaxed, because she thinks I'm sitting on a barge someplace with a can of worms and a beer and a pole hanging in the water. In fact, what you're trying to do is solve a problem all the time. There's a world down there under the water that you can't see. And your fly is thrown into the water where you can't see it, or when it's underwater. Sometimes you're fishing on the surface. And you're trying to present the fly to where you think the salmon would be in the river, based upon the water currents, at a speed that you think the salmon wants to take it. Every time you cast over where fish ought to be in a good salmon river, there's the anticipation that starts at your ankles and moves right up to your throat that you're going to get this pull. It's a yank, or a kiss, or a subtle take, or he splashes out of the water and takes your fly. And it's the anticipation that keeps you salmon fishing. And every time you make a cast on the right kind of water, you've got the anticipation. There are other things that are a lot of fun that have the same kind of anticipation, but you can cast a fly 2,000 times a day and always have the anticipation and the excitement of something new.
Since the turn of the century, fly fishermen have recognized the Miramichi as one of the most challenging salmon rivers in the world. Every spring and fall, they come here to match wits with the Atlantic salmon and the river itself. Because as every fly fisherman knows, each river has its own unique characteristics, but offers its own special rewards.
Some rivers are kind of profound. Some rivers are lyrical. Some rivers you make love to, some rivers you make war with. This is sort of a large, generous river. It's got a very large return of salmon. It's being a little mean the last couple of days, but 2 days ago it was the generous Miramichi.
When we come back, I'm going to be standing in the middle of the Miramichi River with the guide from the Gray Rapids Lodge. We're going to talk fly fishing with Percy Mountain, otherwise known as Pop. Welcome back. I'd like you to meet Percy Mountain. I can call you Pop, though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm commonly called here on this river.
Okay, are we ready for our fly fishing lesson?
We certainly are.
Great. But before we do that, I'd like you to meet Guy Smith, owner of the Miramichi Gray Rapids Lodge.
Over the last 20 years, I've had the opportunity to fish the Atlantic salmon, live in a number of other places in the country and abroad, and it's always brought me back to the Atlantic salmon. So about 10 years ago, I decided my dream would be to set up a lodge on the main southwest Miramichi to provide hunting and fishing adventures for folks that wanted to enjoy something that really touched my heart. I continue to develop my concern for the conservation of the Atlantic salmon. The more I get involved with the Atlantic salmon, the more I realize what a unique and special species it really is. The uniqueness of a fish that can come from salt water into fresh water, spawn, return again to the sea, back into salt water again, come back and do it again, and all the stresses that would go on in that species in order to have allowed it to survive over the years, it's really something that I don't think we really want to lose and go into extinction. I really feel if we lose this fish from Canada, we've really lost an important part of our heritage, and certainly to all Atlantic Canadians anyway. And I'm a very strong believer that as well that your best guardians of that resource are often, your outfitters that are on the river, that are maintaining a daily watch and concern for the fishery itself.
All right, so Pop, before we start our fly fishing lesson, I'd like you to tell me just exactly what is fly fishing.
Well, it's much different from any other type of fishing that we have, where they can use lures and that type of stuff and spinning rods. And with this is a casting rod, and you can't use anything other than just a fly that's dressed with light material, that's made out of, could be made out of like bear hair and other little fine materials that we use to make them so they will float on top of the water. And the rod itself is the important thing. The length of the rod, the weight of the rod, and the weight of your line, and the same with your reel. You must have it all so it coordinates and balances together. So it makes it comfortable when you're casting, that there is no effort to it.
Okay, now this is the fly in your hand, right?
Yeah.
You don't put a worm on there, you don't use anything
You are
for
not
bait?
allowed, because of the regulations we have on these rivers, you are not allowed to use nothing but an ordinary hook, a round wire hook, and it's dressed with different colored materials, could be red, green, yellow, that we have to make up the fly.
Well, what makes the fish want to bite that?
I think it goes back to when they're small, when they're a par. When you go back to the little par, they normally, when they're in this river for the time before they go back to sea, they feed on what we have, the hatches on the river. And the flies, the little flies on the water, things like this is what they normally feed on until they return to sea. So I think when they come back, I think this instinct is there. When they see a fly on the water, they just instinctively come up and hit the fly.
Okay, now this fly is green. Is the color important?
All through July, in August and July, and the latter part of June, you will find most of the flies that they use are mostly black, dark brown or black. This is the type of fly that usually they will go after. And but as you come into the fall, you go into different, like copper colors, and red, yellow, green, and other colors. This is a fall color that they more or less go for.
I see. So from the looks of your hat, I think you have every season covered, and you can go fly fishing whenever you want, can't you?
Well, I'm sure. I have a pretty fair variety in different colors, and I hope that I've covered everything on my hat that I need.
Okay.
And sometimes I have to try pretty well them all too.
Do you want to show me how to cast?
Sure. We'll step out here a little further and I'll give you some lessons on how to cast.
Okay, let's do that. Okay. So where do you want to go? I think this is a good spot because this is very slippery. Is this okay?
Mm.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to put on my glasses. I don't have any safety glasses, but I brought sunglasses. Is that good enough?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine to protect your eyes.
Okay, now what do we do?
All right, hold your elbow in close to your body. This is all done with your wrist. The cast, make your cast, do it with your wrist. Come back to 11 o'clock, pause, and wait for the line to straighten behind you, and then cast forward again.
Okay.
Let's see you do it.
All right. Well, maybe not quite.
That's fine.
Yeah? Okay,
Yeah,
let me try
do it
again.
again. That's good. That's good.
Great. Now that didn't take any strength at all.
It doesn't. If your rod, reel, and line and everything is balanced properly, it's a simple, very simple movement to get your line to go cast the line. Very simple.
Okay, and then do I just leave it lay on the water?
You let it go out on a 30 to 40 degree angle, let it drift down over your salmon again, till eventually he grabs it.
Percy, would you ever retire from fishing?
I don't think I'd ever retire from fishing. I love fishing, and I think it's the greatest relaxation in the world. And once you hook a salmon, you are hooked for life yourself, worse than the salmon.
Well, hopefully I can hook a salmon, because when we come back, we're going to make poached salmon with fiddleheads.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Ah, that's nice. That's great.
Welcome to the kitchen of the Grey Rapids Lodge on the Miramichi. I'd like you to meet Verrill. Verrill Mountain, this is Pop's wife. Now, Pop does the fishing and you do the cooking.
Right.
That's not exactly true. Sometimes you do the fishing and he does the cooking.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but we're going to be traditional today, right?
Yes.
Now, we've got Atlantic salmon here, but Pop didn't catch this because he releases his catch. Where did you get this salmon?
We got it at the farms. You know, they raise salmon, Atlantic salmon, and so we got it there because we are not allowed to keep a salmon on the Miramichi or any place.
Okay, is that what this tag is about?
That's what that's about.
Okay, now we've already washed the salmon. What do we do next?
Well, I have to cut the head and tail off it.
Well, then let's see you do that.
You know, I save this for chowder sometimes, all the time.
Okay, so then we best keep it aside so that you can make a chowder with it later.
Right. Salmon chowder is very good on the Miramichi.
Okay. Set that aside. All right.
Please.
I'll put that over there. And what do we have to do now?
Well, I'll have to cut it to poach.
All right, so you have to cut the salmon in half.
Right.
And what's the reason for that?
Well, it takes 8 minutes to cook a pound of it, so it'll cook easier this way if you got a big crowd at the lodge.
Mm-hmm. Wait, now we're poaching the salmon. Is that your favorite way to cook it?
Yes, it is. It's a real good way to cook it. It's the best way.
The best way? Why is that?
Because it keeps the flavor in.
Okay. What would be another way that you could cook it?
Well, you can fry it, or you can barbecue it, or you can bake it.
And what's the difference when you poach it and when you bake it, for example?
Well, like I said, the poach keeps the flavor in it, you know.
Okay.
With just the
It doesn't dry out? Or,
No.
Okay. Now, why did we have to put the skin down? What would happen if I had it flipped the other way?
I don't know. The skin holds the flavor into it, eh?
Okay. So it's fish, water, salt. About how much salt are you putting in?
Half a cup or a quarter of a cup.
Wow. That's a lot of salt. Does that help it to cook in any way?
No, but it adds the flavor to it too. And about 3 or 4 bay leaves.
So you're going to put it on top of the stove?
Yes.
And you're going to boil it. All right, and we have 8 minutes a pound. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's how we're going to cook it. 8 minutes a pound, and this is approximately how
About
big?
10 or 12 pound.
You can tell just by looking?
Oh, yes.
Well, the experienced fisherwoman here. Okay,
Right.
let's get that over there. Now, while that's on, we're going to make cream of fiddlehead soup.
Yes.
What is a fiddlehead?
A fiddlehead is a fern. It's very delicious.
This is the fiddlehead?
Yes. And it goes with Atlantic salmon.
Really well.
Really good.
Okay. And I hear it's also very high in iron. Is that correct?
It is very much.
Okay, so let's just check out our ingredients, make sure we have everything. So we have 2 cups of fiddleheads, 1 can of cream of chicken soup, 1.5 cups of whole milk. That's this, great. 1.5 cups of cereal cream, great. 2 tablespoons of butter, 1.5 teaspoons of basil, and boil fiddleheads until tender.
Which we did.
We already did that, and they're already chopped up, right?
Right.
Okay, great. So let's pop that in there. I tell you what, I'll do the stirring. We could probably start with the can of soup.
Right.
All right, and I'll do the stirring, and then I'll pass it to you, and you put everything in, okay? How's that? All right?
Fine.
Let's do that. Let's move this where it's a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so the next thing we need is
The whole milk.
cream. Oh, you want the whole milk next? Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, and we need
Thank you.
1.5 cups of whole milk. So unless you want to guess, I think you should do the cream first, and that way you'll have the measuring cup.
Thank you.
Okay, pour that in. Okay, go easy so I can catch up with the stirring here. I want to cream it together real nice. Okay, and measure out the milk. You want 1.5 cups of whole milk. Now, if you were to try to describe the flavor of a fiddlehead, would it be like an asparagus or?
Sort of.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
It's sort of like that, but it's a flavor of its own, fiddlehead.
It's unique. All right. And let me see. We need a little bit of basil in there.
Right here.
1.5 teaspoons. You've
Yes,
already measured that out.
measured it out,
Okay.
yes.
Terrific. And 2 tablespoons of butter. How am I doing? Have I got your recipe
you're
down
doing
right?
fine.
I'm reading. That's how I know.
You're really
because
doing fine.
It was nice of you to write it out for me.
Thanks.
There we go. Okay.
Excuse me.
And let me see. I think that what you do now is you boil until simmer.
Right.
Right? Okay, so bring it to boil. You can set it back there.
Thank you.
Actually, do you want the lid on? Do you want me to get this out of here so you can put the lid on?
Okay.
Okay.
Just simmer
All right.
slow.
Okay, well, while our salmon was poaching, we actually already have poached salmon, so we're going to bring that out now. And that smells good. All right. Now, I think what I'd like is if we can have that plate over here, then you can cut me a piece. Is there any, how do you cut this?
Well, I have to skin it off now, eh?
Oh, I see. So you just pull the skin back from the meat
Right?
and discard the skin?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to have that big of a piece. I think that's plenty. Okay. And we've got some nice boiled potatoes and a little garnish of lemon. Now, do I have to watch out for bones? Have you pulled it away from the bone?
Yes, it's pulled away from the bone.
So there won't be any bone in
No.
here at all? Okay, now we've already made the white sauce. You want to pass that to me? Okay, Veryl, you made this white sauce and you've got a
Yes.
special touch in there. What is it?
Oh, it's just a pinch of this and a pinch of that.
Well, what are the chunks?
That's eggs, boiled eggs.
Okay, so traditional
White
basic
sauce
white
with
sauce with boiled egg chopped
Parsley
up
in
inside.
it, yes.
And some parsley.
Yes.
Okay, let's just dress up the fish a little bit. Put that. There we go. Okay.
So we'll touch it up with a green onion because somebody ate all the parsley.
Okay, so we'll put some onion on it. Now this looks delicious, but we're not going to eat it until we get ourselves a bowl of cream of fiddlehead soup to go with it, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's get that over here. I'll just move this out of the way.
Oh, it's nice and hot.
Terrific. Okay.
More?
Yeah, a little more. A little more. I love creamed soups. Okay.
Thanks.
And before I take a taste, I want to thank you very much for showing me how to do all of this. It looks delicious.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm sure it's going to be delicious.
Be sure and come back to the Miramichi Lodge in Grey Rapids.
I sure will. I'm Lynette Louise. We've been cross-country cooking in the Grey Rapids Lodge on the Miramichi.
Yeah, with Barrel Mountain.
Okay.
Pop's wife.
Okay, let's take a taste of this first. That's good. But we have to try the hero. We have to try the salmon. Okay, let's have a taste. Oh, that's really mild.
Thank you.
That's really nice fish. Okay, go ahead.
Delicious.
Okay, you have the soup, and I'll have the salmon.
Okay,
Does that seem
thanks.
fair to-
Okay, all right. 'Cause I have salmon all the time, and you probably don't.
Not Atlantic salmon,
No.
certainly not, never.
Cross Country Cookin', brought to you by Campbell's. More delicious ideas in every tin. Good. And Sifto, baking soda, naturally. And Eaton's, good satisfactory or money refunded.